reading a minor Gospel, writing a German book titled The Red Cloth.
Okay. Okay, I have a few questions on this book. I guess it will be 9 or 10, which I would like you to answer, and this interview will be part of the book. So my first question is, looking back on the development of the Neo-Sonius movement, it appears to me very well planned. Just like a seed which has in itself the whole plan of the tree. In which state of growth is the tree of your religion now?
It is true. But nobody has planned it. Looking backwards, you can see all the stages from the seed to the flower. But if you see at the seed, you will not be able to predict what is going to happen. The seed is completely closed. It has potential. But we don't know whether the seed will fall in the right soil or will fall on a stone and will never grow, or may be eaten by animals, destroyed by children. Nobody knows what is going to happen in the future. The future remains open, unknown, unknowable. And that's how sannyas has grown. I have never planned it. Not the way an architect plans how the building is going to be. The building is a construction. It is not a growth. A construction can be planned, but growth is life. It is an opening into many dimensions. What root, what dimension it will take, nobody knows. I have functioned from this innocence continuously. I am not a man who plans. I trust existence so much that planning means distrust. I know that existence has helped me up to this moment, and I have never done anything. The next moment also will be taken care of. To me, this trust is real religion. Not believing in Jesus Christ or God or believing in the Bible or Quran. No. Living a life of spontaneity without any plan. Trusting whatsoever happens is the right thing. And when I say whatsoever, I mean whatsoever. Because we don't have any plan, we cannot have any judgment of what happens. If we have a plan, then there is every possibility of disappointment. Existence has no obligation to follow my plan. That's why religious people have been telling all along the centuries, man proposes and God disposes. There is no God to dispose. We have disposed God himself. But if man proposes, he is bound to come to a point where there will be disappointment. Our vision is small. Existence is infinite. So whatsoever we can decide will be of no significance. In fact, it will create all kinds of hindrances. If the existence is going to the south and we plan to go to the north, then there will be a tension between you and existence. This is the cause of so many people around the world living in anxiety, anguish, tension, disappointment, frustration. The reason is that in the first place they started expecting, planning, hoping, desiring. Existence is not at fault. Existence is not deposing their proposals. Existence is simply going on its own way. And my experience is to just go with existence. I call it the let go way. So wherever the river takes, yes, retrospectively you may be able to figure that there seems to be a planning, but there has never been a planning. But things have happened that should give every sannyasin a courage to live without bothering about future. My whole experience proves this. Just things go on happening. You allow them to happen, that's all. Don't hinder, don't try to change the direction. Relaxed, trusting like a small child, holding his father's hand, unworried that the night is descending, that the way is long, that there is every danger in the way, wild animals, thieves, robbers. He has nobody. He knows his father is holding his hand. While the father is tense, in great anxiety, the child is enjoying every moment just by his side, not affected by his anxiety at all.
Are you the father who is holding the hand of the sannyasins?
Existence itself, a father is not much of help. That's what the old religions have provided men. They had provided God the Father. That is a small projection. The child had trusted the Father, and now he is grown up. Now he knows perfectly well his Father is fallible. When he was a child, he knew his Father is infallible. But now he is in a great dilemma. The Father is fallible, and he has become dependent on an infallible God. This is the simple reason why every religion projected an infallible God far above, omnipresent, everywhere present. So you need not worry that he may not be seeing you. Omniscient, knowing everything, past, present, future. So you need not worry that something he may bypass or may ignore. Omnipotent, all powerful. He can do everything. There is nothing which is impossible for him. The religions used the child's psychology to create God the Father. But it is a dangerous game. It means you are depending on a fiction. It means you are living in a dream world. It means your prayers are addressed to nobody. No answer is going to come. Existence is there, surrounding you, everywhere. There is no need for any theologian to prove that existence is. There is great need to prove that God exists. Still nobody has been able to prove it. For 5,000 years, philosophers, theologians, logicians, all have been trying hard to prove the existence of God. But nothing is proved. So I am not projecting anything. I am simply saying you exist. It does not need any proof. The trees exist, the sun exists, the moon exists, the stars exist. So many animals, men, women. No theologian has ever tried to prove that existence exists. Existence simply means that which exists. It needs no proof. It is solidly here, now. So I am not in favor of projecting any imaginary thing. Because if you live with imagination, you will never grow. You will remain a child. With God the Father, you will remain the child, retarded. It is your retarded child's need that a fiction of God is required. Without the God, the retarded child feels nervous, afraid. He does not know where to go, what to do. Nobody is there to take care of him. Nobody is to guide him. Nobody is. All is darkness, and there seems to be no possibility of light. But with the God in heaven, the retarded child is perfectly happy.
Isn't there a danger that sannyasins project all these things to the master?
I am continuously destroying their projections. I am not allowing any projection as far as I am concerned. And this is being done for the first time. In the past, the so-called masters were all allowing people to have all kinds of projections about them, because it was a simple logical thing. They were projecting God. The fiction of God was projected by those so-called masters. The people had no acquaintance with God, but they know the master. So they were believing in the master. And to create such belief, faith, masters have been doing things which are really ugly, which may be right for a street magician, but are not right for a master. For example, all the miracles of Jesus, either they never happened and were created when he was dead by his disciples, because in no Jewish literature contemporary to Jesus, it is impossible to ignore such a man. He must have been a great news. A man who walks on water. Do you think the contemporary literature can ignore him?
No.
A man who makes a dead follower come back to life again will be ignored. If these things are ignored, then what is news? Not a single mention of Jesus Christ, not even his name. So the most probably all these miracles are created by the followers to create that man a reliable representative of God. No ordinary man can walk on water, and he walks. Naturally, he has some direct relationship with the original source of life. So first, either they were most probably invented around all the masters of the world, and few cunning people had even managed to arrange them. I know about a man, a friend of mine, who was worshipped like a god. He has done a small thing. He was traveling from Howrah station. He entered into the first class. He was a Mohammedan fakir. The ticket collector came. He asked for the ticket. The fakir said, I never travel with a ticket. I am a God's man. Everything belongs to me. You don't waste my time. Move on. And this was simply insulting. A government servant doing his duty, you are without ticket and behaving in such an arrogant manner. The ticket collector also became adamant. He said, you get down the train, otherwise I will call police. The train will not move until you get down, and don't force me, because I don't want a religious man to be arrested. You simply get out. I have nothing to do with you. But without ticket in this train, I am not going to allow anybody to travel. God's men are not. The fakir said, if you want me to get out, you will have to push me out. I am not going by myself. One thing led to another, and finally the conductor became angry and pushed the man outside the door, threw his box, his bags. The fakir laughed and he said, now you were saying if I am inside the train will not move. Now listen to me, if I am outside the train cannot move. A crowd gathers and the driver is trying his hard, the engineer is trying his hard. Nothing seems to be wrong, but the train is not moving. The guard is showing his flag, but the train is standing. By and by all the passengers got out. There was a huge crowd and the fakir was standing there with closed eyes. The station master came running and he said, what is the matter? The conductor said, now this is my duty. But people and crowd was so angry at the conductor, they were ready to kill him. You insult a man of God? And we are being delayed unnecessarily. Somebody has to attend court, somebody has to do some business, somebody has some appointment. Who will be responsible for this? The crowd forced the conductor for an apology. The fakir said, touch my feet and remember, never misbehave with any man who seems you to be religious and is traveling without ticket. He had to touch his feet. The fakir entered the train and passengers had to rush into their compartments because the train started moving. That made him famous. for thousands of people that this is divine power. And there was nothing. He has bribed the conductor and the driver. Just 2 persons. And a miracle is done. And he becomes a God-man. Now it is possible Lazarus was Jesus Christ's friend. It can be managed very easily that his death is bogus. And Jesus revives him back to life. Because Lazarus was not the only person who has died in Jesus' life. He was here for 33 years. In 33 years, thousands of people in Judea must have died. And if the man knew how to bring them back to life, then he was really cruel, knowing the secret and not bringing the people back to life, and only while Lazarus, a friend who can conspire. I am in that way the first man who is not allowing my people to make me an object of any kind of projection. Many of them will feel hurt because their expectations, it is a very complicated phenomenon. If I am a miracle man, then they are disciples of a miracle man. If I walk on waters, then I am fulfilling their ego too. And I am a totally different man. I will start drowning in the water. That will destroy their ego, and they will most probably run away from me, never will mention my name, that they were my followers who drowned in the river. With me, only people who are really ready to grow can remain. Thousands have come to me, but they all wanted some fulfillment of their ego from me, and that I cannot do. I cannot be a source of their retardedness, stupidity, superstition. No. Because I will not support, they had to find some other master somewhere who was ready to support. In fact, there have been moments when, without my knowing, they managed to project something. I came only to know about it later on. But the moment I knew it, I destroyed it completely. A young man one night came. I have never seen him. He was well educated. He asked me that my doctor has suggested to come to you and ask for a glass of water. I said, but who is this doctor and why he should suggest me? Because I'm not a doctor and I don't treat patients. He said, he has told me that you will refuse, but you remain there, you don't leave. It must have been 9 o'clock in the night, up to 12, he was sitting there in front of me. I said, okay, you can sit. I continued my work, whatsoever I was reading, I went on reading, and once in a while he will say, why? I have to go 4 or 5 miles, my house is far away, my mother will be waiting, and because I am sick, my mother had come to visit me. She had gone to sleep, but seeing the light is on of my room, and I am talking to somebody at 12 o'clock, she came out and asked, what is the matter? That young man just fell into my mother's feet, and he said, you help me. Just I am not wanting anything, just a glass of water. So my mother said, why don't you give him a glass of water? There is no problem in it. I will bring it. I said to her, you don't know that glass of water can be very dangerous. She went in and brought a glass of water just to satisfy her. Otherwise, she was getting very much upset that what kind of compassion you have. He is simply asking one glass of water. If it can help him, why you should hinder? I gave the man, and as he drank the water, his whole face I could see changing. He touched his stomach, he said, my God, the pain has gone. He was suffering from stomach pain for 6 months. And the doctor finally got fed up of him because there was no pain. It was just something psychological. And the doctor knew me. I had to ask that man that it is good that your pain has disappeared. But be kind to me. Don't start talking about it to other people. Otherwise, there are so many sick people all around. And I don't want to be surrounded by all that kind of crowd. He said, no, I will not say. Just you do one thing. Once in a while I will come with a bottle of water. You just touch it. I will do. He cured many people. And I told him that I myself fall sick and I have to call the same doctor who has sent you to me. And I am drinking water with my own hands. Can't you see a simple thing? He was not willing to listen. He said, I have experienced the miracle not only in myself, I have seen the miracle happening into others, and you have just touched the water. It took me months to convince that man that it was just his mind. There was no pain, that's why the doctor had failed. Finally, I had to call the doctor and tell the doctor, explain to him that medicines were creating more trouble because there was no pain and he was continuously asking for medicines. And the doctor told him that I had sent you here because your thing was completely mental. And you may have helped few people because out of 100, almost 90% people are suffering from mental diseases which don't exist. That's why there are so many pathies in the world. Allopathy, naturopathy, homeopathy, acupuncture, Ayurveda. In every country there are many pathies, and the miracle is they all work. And their working is totally different. Except allopathy, no pathy is scientific. But even allopathy cannot defeat those pathies. Percentage is the same. They also cure people. Just 10% people they will not be able to cure. But 90% people are there. They can be cured by any pathy. And these 90% people are the people allopathy will not be able to cure. So if you look at the figures, those bogus pathies are doing greater work than allopathy. Allopathy is certainly going to cure the 10%. About the 90 it cannot be certain. But those pathies certainly will not cure the 10%, but about 90% they can manage. I had a friend who was a doctor without any degrees, without any education of medicine. But he was a great physician in that way. If you count the people that he cured, in his house, he was a bachelor and he lived alone. His lab was worth seeing. It was all bogus. There was nothing in it. Test tubes, bottles, all kinds of colored water moving from one bottle into another bottle, and many kinds of beds and chairs, electric chairs. And any sick person seeing his lab will be immensely impressed. He never took the stethoscope in his hand. He has invented a certain bed. You will have to lie down on it. The stethoscope will be put on your chest, and above you there were 2 bottles of colored water, and they will start jumping up and down because of the stethoscope. And you will look at them. This man seems to be a great scientist, and he will be watching those colors, and that's how he will decide what color of medicine is going to help you. And it was all water. He was caught because the medical profession will not allow him. I stood for him in the court. I said it is not a question of whether he has a certificate or not. The question is, the man managed thousands of people from suffering, he has saved them. And you bother too much about a piece of paper that he is not an MBBS. And all these MBBS who has filed this case against him, the reason is not that they are against him, the reason is that he is attracting the patients and they are all losing their business. And they cannot compete with him. He is really such a genius. The magistrate laughed. He said, "What you are saying is right. I know this man because he has even cured me." But as far as law is concerned, I have to prevent him from practicing medicine. And because I understand your argument and my own experience is in his favor, so I will not give him any punishment. Just he should stop being a physician anymore. I told the man, "You don't be worried. You move to another town, in a far away place where people don't know you. Take all your instruments and start again." And he is still doing. And I told him, "Remember that as medical profession becomes alert about you, change the place. You cannot remain in one place. They won't let you, and this time this magistrate has helped you. We don't know any other court will help you or not." I have been trying in every possible way to destroy the projections. I don't want my people to have faith in me. I want them to experience me. I want them to experience what I have experienced. I can show the way. I cannot walk for them. They will have to walk alone. I can give them encouragement, but I cannot give them the truth. And the real function of the master is to give you encouragement. Just by his presence, his blissful life, peaceful life, creates a certain milieu in which you can move easily towards dropping your plannings, projects, and allowing existence to happen. So what is happening in sannyas is not a doing on my part or on anybody's part. It is a happening. And it has gone so beautifully, and it is going so beautifully. And I don't see that I can ever be disappointed, because in the first place, I don't bother whether the river is going to the north or to the south, wherever it goes, wherever it lands. That's my home. That's where I always wanted to go, but I was not aware.
Okay, would like to come to another question. The modern age, the so-called age of enlightenment, is an age of liberalization from old belief systems and religions. You claim your religion a modern religion. Isn't this a contradiction in itself?
It is. It is a contradiction to call it a modern religion, or better, a religionless religion, which will make the contradiction more clear. But to me, existence allows contradictions. It is not logical. It is very illogical. In fact, existence depends on contradictions. What is life and death? Are not they contradictory? But both are going to happen to one person, to the same person. In fact, a dead person cannot die. That would be consistent. If some dead person dies, it is absolutely logical. But what happens is contradictory. A living person, life suddenly becomes death. If you look into existence, and I am not a philosopher, I am simply existential, not even an existentialist, just existential. I see everywhere contradiction. Light cannot exist without darkness. Darkness cannot exist without light. For example, ordinarily people think that a blind man must be living in darkness. They are wrong. A blind man knows nothing of darkness, because to see darkness you need eyes. If the blind man cannot see light, he cannot see darkness. There are two poles of one phenomenon. For both, eyes are needed. Now it is something almost impossible to conceive what the blind man experiences. No light, no darkness, then what? Is there something else that he feels? No. You must be thinking that a deaf person is enjoying silence continuously. You are wrong. A deaf person knows nothing of silence because he knows nothing of sound. Sound and silence go together. Light and darkness go together. Everything, if you find anything you can predict that there must be something polar opposite to it. Without the polar opposite, it cannot exist. For example, man cannot exist without women. They are polar opposites. And that's why they are so much attracted to each other. They are like positive and negative polarities of electricity. But because they are polar opposites, you have to understand the whole thing. First, they will be attracted to each other and they will be opposed to each other. This is the whole problem of all the couples in the world, of all lovers in the world. They are attracted to each other, and the same is the cause of their continuous fight. They are opposites to each other. That's why homosexuals became known as gay people. They have no polarity. There is nothing to fight. They are always smiling. They look really gay. But their gayness, their delight,